It takes the brain 100 milliseconds to feel pain, and the eyes 300 milliseconds to process what it sees. But the OceanGate sub broke apart in less than 1 millisecond, faster than anyone could react. Imagine paying $250,000 to dive deep and explore history, only to vanish in an instant. No warning, no sound. Just silence, crushed by the ocean's pressure. Now, 2 years later, the U.S. Coast Guard has released its report. They call it a preventable disaster. After years of rumors and waiting, the real, shocking truth is finally out. It was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime. In June 2023, the Titan submersible set out for the icy depths of the North Atlantic, aiming to visit one of the world's most haunting shipwrecks, the Titanic. On board were 5 people: OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush, British billionaire Hamish Harding, French deep-sea explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet, and Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, along with his young son, Suleiman. The Titan, operated by the private company OceanGate, promised an unforgettable journey. It wasn't just another sub. Its creator talked about innovation, about breaking boundaries, about rewriting the rules. But as we now know, some rules are written for a reason. Early on June 18, 2023, the Titan began its deep dive to the Titanic's resting place, over 3,800 meters below the surface. That's nearly 13,000 feet. About an hour and a half into the dive, all contact with the sub was lost. Panic raced across the support vessel, the Polar Prince, and soon across the world. A massive search and rescue effort unfolded, capturing headlines everywhere. For 4 days, teams scoured the vast, cold sea. Then came the grim discovery. Debris from the sub was found, confirming what many feared: a catastrophic implosion caused by crushing ocean pressure. All 5 souls on board had been lost in an instant. Here is the actual last audio ever heard from the Titan submersible. The recording was captured by a passive acoustic device nearly 900 miles away from the disaster site. It begins with a muffled boom, believed to be the implosion itself, followed by an eerie, chilling silence. But the question lingered: how could something like this happen? The Titan was a vessel built for exploration, trumpeted as state-of-the-art. How did it fail so horribly? The truth was more disturbing than anyone expected. After a 2-year investigation, the U.S. Coast Guard released a damning 335-page report. It concluded without hesitation this tragedy was preventable. The disaster didn't happen because of bad luck, uncharted seas, or unforeseen forces of nature. It happened because of human failure at almost every level. First, investigators found the Titan's design, certification, maintenance, and inspection processes were critically flawed. Unlike other deep-sea vessels, the Titan used an uncertified carbon fiber hull, lighter, yes, but dangerously untested for the crushing pressures miles beneath the ocean's surface. Worse, the hull had already shown worrisome signs of wear, delamination, porosity, even evidence of repairs with uneven adhesives. Yet OceanGate kept diving. Even more shocking, the company repeatedly ignored warnings from both employees and outside experts. The workplace itself was described as toxic, a place where staff who raised safety concerns were threatened with firing or otherwise silenced. Documents showed intimidation tactics and efforts to evade outside regulatory scrutiny, all in the name of operational continuity and pushing the boundaries. The Coast Guard investigation made it clear: OceanGate's founder, Stockton Rush, created an environment where all authority and all responsibility rested with him alone. Rush insisted on piloting the Titan himself on its final dive. His overconfidence and relentless drive to continue missions despite well-documented risks created a culture where safety took a backseat to spectacle. Had he survived, investigators stated, he would have faced possible criminal charges for negligence resulting in the deaths of the other 4 passengers.
And here's the cruelest irony, one of his most controversial quotes.
At some point, safety is just pure waste, the mindset that eventually caused everything and led to his own death. Investigators also revealed OceanGate's financial struggles in 2023 led to the risky decision to leave the Titan stored outside during a harsh Canadian winter. This exposed the already flawed hull to repeated freezing and thawing cycles, further weakening its structure. Despite obvious vulnerabilities, the company pressed on with passenger dives. The consequences rippled far beyond those lost at sea. Families filed multi-million-dollar lawsuits, alleging terror and mental anguish suffered by their loved ones in the sub's final minutes. The deaths led to a reckoning, not only for OceanGate, but for the entire private deep-sea exploration industry. Calls for regulation, oversight, and stricter safety standards became impossible to ignore. The U.S. Coast Guard's report didn't just blame OceanGate, but delivered 17 sweeping recommendations for the industry, calling for rigorous certification, independent oversight, and transparent whistleblower systems. The message was clear: novelty and ambition cannot come at the price of human life. OceanGate has wound down its operations and pledged to cooperate with investigators, but for many, the damage is irreparable. Friends, families, and colleagues of those lost are still searching for closure, their grief compounded by revelations of corporate greed and reckless ambition. One thing is certain: the tragedy of the Titan was not a freak accident. It was the predictable, heartbreaking result of hubris and ignored warnings, a stark lesson for anyone daring to explore where few have gone before. But if there's any small comfort in this tragedy, it's what experts believe about their final moments: that it was over before their brains could even comprehend what was happening. No pain, no fear, just instant silence. They never knew it happened. It's not a bad way to go. The only thing is, the passengers would fall into a deep sleep due to the intense cold, but it's something we can't imagine happening. That was the statement of the French expert Paul Henry when asked what could happen if the sub got stuck in the depths. Maybe now, with the truth finally revealed, future explorers can journey to new depths more safely, with lessons paid for in loss never forgotten. Here's another mysterious case you can watch right now. Thanks for watching Beyond the Crime, where the truth is always deeper than it seems.